Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. And this evening I'm talking with Kurt Roskopf from USA, and he has a special event that he has coming up this weekend. It's a telethon, and it's to help the veterans in the US of A. So, Kurt, tell us a little bit more about what is going to happen this weekend, and tell us a bit about, why you're doing it and what it's all about.
Absolutely. Thanks, Carolyn. Well, in terms of the USA part, this whole thing did come forward through a group called People for a New America, which is USA centric, as you're saying. But really, through my being introduced to the group in October of last year, so 8 months ago, I was able to introduce them to the Disability Channel based out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So we
Right.
have a little Can-Am dynamic,
Yeah.
and that's really where our firepower is with the Disability Channel heading up our amplifying our access to Canada, and then what the rest of us are doing out of the USA. And then at the same time, when we look at our Canadian and USA veterans, we know that our veterans are all over the world.
Of course they are. Of
Yeah,
course they are.
yeah, just because they return home doesn't mean they're going to stay in the home country.
Mm.
So this is all spilling over. So like with the UK and Australia and Asia, we're really looking at that this is bringing us to that direction, and we are teamed up with Maybach's Broadcasting, which is going to have us like on antennas in the Philippines, and their global reach that way, and with it being internet based. Everyone can go to watchlivenow.net. Watchlivenow.net. Everybody with internet access can pull it up on their browser and see exactly what we're doing. But to the point of what's coming of this telethon, yeah, we are more expectedly reaching US and Canadian vets where we're going to purchase gift cards as a
Mhm.
result of the monies acquired from the telethon. And we're going to be handing veterans a gift card to say thanks for serving your country. And this is our way of giving you another way we want to serve you as well and make sure you're taken care of. And then with the Disability Channel has education and career development, vocational development, professional development opportunity with their education package of Digital Ventures. And Digital Ventures is helping veterans um, expand their career and be able to do more of what they want to do, and have more things for their resume and things they can tell potential employers for being hired. And if they want to go enterprising and be a business owner, coming into the media field of TV, radio, public speaking, and networking and the stuff on social media, a lot of stuff's made on Canva, and so all of these skills, this world of AI and everything,
Mhm.
doing all of that. And then my wife and I are also, we are ambassadors for Project Die Hard, combating veteran suicide by spreading hope to veterans. And a project we've got going right now is a remodel project in a 10,000 square foot facility that happens to be in Illinois, USA. There's a 20-acre property this resides on, but with the facility right now is ready to go with day programs. So from sunup to sundown, we're good to go with what we can do in that facility. And the big plan is to have sleeping quarters and to create a group housing type concept where veterans and their families can all be in here with the bunk rooms and so forth, and to have that. But that's not there right now. So we have to get this suitable for overnight stays for up to a year. So there's going to be a chunk of these contributions used for that. So again, gift cards, education, and retreat oasis, overnight stay facility. And the idea is that in Illinois with Project Iard, it's like a wraparound to intake them and to say what would really help you as a veteran get your life dialed in exactly the way you want it, and that they can come to our Illinois facility, and everything for that will be deployed to them through what we call Forward Operating Base Rush in McCanda, Illinois. So that's the whole motivation.
Yeah.
of the thing. And so the actual telethon will run from noon to 8 Eastern. So an 8 hour telethon. It'll be kicked off out of Toronto with the Disability Channel. After 2 hours, it'll hand off to Project Diehard. Project Diehard will hand it off to for at halftime for the third quarter, so to speak. Connect to Your City out of Phoenix, Arizona, and then Connect to Your City in Arizona will hand it off to Los Angeles for the final 2 hours of the 8 hours, the finale, portion of the show. And we are very confident that all of you out there are just gonna love this platform. We'd love to have everybody go onto our social medias with the Veterans First Initiative Telethon and say, I am so glad that our Queen of Cards, Carolyn Hobbs, introduced us. The cards fell where they may, and we're happy we fell into this devotion to veterans. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. That's amazing that you've got this connection and you've got the 2 hours on each of the medium the media places, and it's going to open hopefully lots of opportunities.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the structure here is to if we think outside, now I know with your business you think inside the box, which is great, all those cards in the
Yeah.
box, but Carolyn's card box. But if we use that cliche of thinking outside the box,
Yeah.
the idea is that, I say Toronto, Illinois, Phoenix, and LA, California, it's meant to create this forward propulsion. Like this is just like pinball. You know how
Yeah.
you go back and that pinball
Yeah.
does its thing and then the ball goes. That's what this is meant. The telethon is really meant to be that the pinball machine, pulling the bobber and boom. That's what's going on Saturday, June 7th. And then our expectation is this is going to open up the floodgates and have responses all around the world. Our reaches right now are 10 million people. And we have a partner who, following the telethon, we're plugging into it, but in 5 days, we're not going to be able to do that much with it. But there's 100 million project, so they're designed at the scale of 100 million. So we're going to take this 10 million reach, plug it into the 100 million reach, and see how we can coalesce that all before the year ends. We're plugging into a project of theirs in the fall, and then it's not. Then we're talking in 2026. We're talking hundreds of millions, and just keep on going until
Yeah.
we have a future where we're so connected, everybody around the world, you think that we reinvented Facebook.
Brilliant.
Right?
Well, what a project, really, to help all those veterans, as you say rightly, all around the world. It's not just US and Canada,
Yeah.
because obviously we have them here, and all the other countries do too, and they've served our country, and it's payback, isn't it? It's paying it forward to them to take care of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you and I met through the Happy Neighborhood Project and
Yeah.
with the other meetings we participate in as well as a result of that. And then I'm affiliated with Helpopedia, which is an international education group. And then Spirit of the Game Foundation is a global organization. I'm also a working board member of Humans United Mutual Aid Networks, operating the Humans Global Cooperative. So this literally is meant to take a look at what the world really sees as the better future for all veterans on the planet, and let's do it together. That's what we're out to do.
Yeah. That's it, it's just well, it's mind blowing, isn't it, that so many of the veterans, certainly here, they really struggle.
Mhm.
They struggle to get back into Civvy Street because they've been so used to having that structure in the forces, whichever force it is, and they just cannot get used to being in Civvy Street, and so very often end up homeless. And the worst things then happen, and you've got downward spirals and so on. So anything to help them, because we wouldn't be where we are without our veterans from wars, World War One, two, none of us would be here. So, it's our turn, isn't it, to pay it forward.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because the veterans, when they served in our military troops and everything,
Mm,
they fought our battles for us, and then they retire from that military role, and then as citizens, civilians, we just sit back, like,
yeah.
thank you, and just all lip service to it, which is great. I mean, we do need to keep talking it up and have that verbalized acknowledgement and thanks and gratitude. But at the same time, after we're done talking the talk, we got to walk the walk and make
Mm,
sure they don't continue to fight our battles for us, on for the rest of their life, and that they don't need to fight their own battles alone.
no,
Because
that's the thing,
when they
isn't
go
it?
out,
That no,
when they're in settings and circumstances that they took on to serve us,
yeah,
that comes with baggage and the mental health, the PTSD, and
yeah,
you know, those images that get impressed upon in their brain, and
mm,
they're not going away. They need us as citizens, civilians, patrons and supporters to be with them, all day long, every day.
mm,
It's like a wraparound type idea that when you talk about a
absolutely.
faith journey, a service journey, education, their role as a citizen, and in the business world and finding work, inclusive hiring, really, veterans a lot of times don't share with potential employers that they're a veteran, you
No,
know so
and
that
I don't
that's
know why, because that there is nothing, it's the most honorable job that they've done for all of us around the world. So why wouldn't they actually share it with us? Do a lot of them, I suppose, do they feel that they're not worthy? Do they, I don't know. Some of them, I suppose, may be in states of depression and they don't think they're worthy of being here anymore and so on. So you've got all that conflict and everything, haven't you, going on under the surface?
Yeah, and added on to that, so everything you said, and to add to it, it's the logistical thing and it's the business thing that, when you take this conversation and then think of what someone who has the hiring decision doesn't understand it, like this conversation is about the question, a big
Yeah.
question mark.
Mm,
When you are in charge of a hiring decision, you want to show people how you're building a company team that creates an element of doubt. So, as anything in life, you and me and all the viewers out there, all of us would say that it's a fact of being a human that if we're confused about something, we don't act on that. We
mm,
we wait until we understand everything's about predictable success. And when there's something about the characteristic of a veteran that puts a question mark on it, we move on to things that we more understand.
yeah.
So that's where this advocacy is so important, that we bring everybody on the planet into the lives of veterans so that there's no longer that question, and that we understand it's our responsibility
Yeah.
to bring our veterans into our teams and into all the fun things we do: hobbies, pastime, leisure
Mm,
activities, travel, and sports and rec and watching movies. And
yeah.
think about how are we doing in making all those things in the formats and how it best suits a veteran under their terms, not our guesses, not our hunches. Yeah, do all that, but then we got to check with the vet to say, am I in the right track? Is this really something you'd be excited to do, or is there a
Yeah.
way we could do it better? That's what we need.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. So, yes, I think that we can get this chat of ours out there and share it with others, that to tell them that it's going on, and see what comes in as a result. Even if just one or two people respond, it's one or two people more than would have done if they hadn't have listened to your explanation as to what is happening. So thank you very much, Kurt, for giving us the information, and we'll get this out there as soon as possible. And hopefully it will be amazing telethon that will reverberate around the world and gather momentum and get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it will be. We have a roster of well over 100 people. just waiting to fill the 8 hours with things that'll just really get us all. I mean, I don't claim we didn't do so much in this that I know exactly the entirety of everything coming out of it. So, so I'm looking forward to watching it too, so yeah, it's just going to be a really great cumulative experience. So again, vetsinneed.org if people are wanting to dive in a little bit more on what we did here. Vetsinneed.org has more.
Okay. And will people be able to, is the telethon, is it being recorded? Will they be able to watch it afterwards?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of content on demand after the telethon. And again, the live is watchlivenow.net.
You heard it here, folks. I hope that you make a note of those two internet and websites that are facilitating this, and that you're able to support it in some way. So thank you again, Kurt, for the explanation, and look forward to hearing how it all went.
Yeah, yeah, you and I were talking prior to the show that we're gonna set another day, date, and time to
Yep.
get a little bit of a follow-up from this and then go into a whole lot of other stuff we could be talking about and
Yeah,
let the cards fall where they may with that. I'm excited.
absolutely. Yes. So watch this space. Thank you again.
You're welcome.